Based on the readings gave by the teacher, I decided to talk about the topic of be a musician. Why? Because I do believe that as a society, along the time, we have observed that being a musician almost always bring with it a kind of issues or difficulties which the musicians have to face up. Even in some cases, they had finished with their lives, but also sometimes being a musician is just a condition. And with condition, I mean that there are people who just were born with a gift. And instead of the idea I mentioned before, these people have a good life. They take advantage of it. And also left to us, the society, a huge legacy. But don't misunderstand me here, because the first case of the first type of musicians also left to us a huge legacy. So that's the reason why I should talk about it. In the video, I'm gonna talk about two musicians who are Beethoven and Mozart. I choose them mainly because they are close related to the main topic of the readings, which is the classical music. Also at the end of the video, I made a brief conclusion about the topic. Finally, the references of the biographies are in the description of the video, just if they are of your interest. Let's start. Ludwig van Beethoven was a deaf German composer and a predominant musical figure in the transitional period between the classical and romantic eras. Composer Beethoven was born on December 17, 1770, in Bonn, Germany. He was an innovator, widening the scope of sonata, symphony, and combining vocals and instruments in a new way. Basically, we are talking about of one of the biggest geniuses in the history of music. His personal life was marked by a struggle against deafness, and some of his most important works were composed during the last 10 years of his life, when he was quite unable to hear. Without any doubt, here is the case of this type of musicians who has some difficulties, some issues to face up. Mozart was born in Salzburg to a musical family. From an early age, the young Mozart showed all the signs of a prodigious musical talent. By the age of 5, he could read and write music, and he would entertain people with his talents on the keyboard. By the age of 6, he was writing his first compositions. Mozart was generally considered to be a rare musical genius, though Mozart said that he was diligent in studying other great composers such as Haydn and Bach. During his childhood, he would frequently tour various palaces around Europe, playing for distinguished guests. Aged 17, he accepted a post as a court musician in Salzburg, although this did not suit him very well. The next few years were a time of prolific composition. In 1781, he moved permanently to Vienna, where he stayed for the remainder of his life. In Vienna, he became well known and was often in demand as a composer and performer. So, here we can observe the other case of musicians. Musicians with just were born with a gift, yeah, and they had a good life, and they live for the music, and after they die. So, this is this type of musicians. So, okay, in spite of all, we have the conclusion. And as a conclusion, we have the fact that we as a society or as a fans have this one thought about the be a musician. Yeah, about this topic, be a musician. But why? Because most of the people believe that be a musician is be a perfect human being. They have everything, they have the material stuff, they have money, they have famous, etc. etc. But most of the people don't realize that it is not true, because we can see many examples that the musicians not all the times are perfect. So the reflection here is that we have to take into account this aspect because not of our any of us is perfect. All of us have problems. All of us has to face up issues, etc., etc. That's the idea that I want to share. And eventually, I made a list of some artists who has this type of issues, who are not perfect, and I hope you enjoy the list. And this is it for the video. And as a reminder, the links of the biography are in the description of the video. That's all. Kurt Cobain, depression. Freddie Mercury, discrimination and drugs addiction. Amy Winehouse, depression and bipolar personality. Jimi Hendrix, drugs addiction. Stevie Wonder, born blind. Syd Barrett, mental problems, bipolar and drugs addiction.